Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a look at F.W. Murnau's 1927 silent film, Sunrise. And honestly, it's a masterpiece that was forged in the fire, right at the collision point of completely opposite worlds, ideas, and artistic styles.
I mean, just listen to Martin Scorsese on this one. He doesn't see it as just one thing. He calls it a superproduction, an experimental film, and a visionary poem. And that fusion, that's really the key to unlocking what makes this film so brilliant. In fact, the whole movie is basically built on this idea of putting two things that shouldn't go together side by side. You've got progress versus tradition, Hollywood versus European filmmaking, even reality versus dreams. And somehow it all works to create something totally new. So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll look at the historical context, the story's main conflict, the visual style, how the movie even got made, and finally, its complicated legacy. Okay, first things first, let's set the stage. You know, we hear Roaring Twenties and think of one thing, but the reality was, it wasn't roaring for everybody. This film comes from a time of really deep social anxiety and contrast. And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have post-World War I Germany, where the director Murnau was from. It was a place of total uncertainty, hyperinflation, and political chaos. But on the other side, you've got America, in the middle of an economic boom with a seize-the-day attitude. Sunrise is born right in the middle of the tension between these two completely different worlds. And you can literally see that anxiety in the art from that time. German Expressionist films didn't just tell dark stories, they made the whole world look the way people were feeling inside. We're talking jagged, distorted sets and heavy shadows that just scream paranoia and fear. So this huge global tension between the old world and the brand new one, it gets mirrored perfectly in the film's main story, which is really a battle for the soul between traditional country life and the seductive, dangerous pull of the modern city. And right at the heart of this conflict is the woman from the city. She represents a figure that was causing some very real anxiety after the war, the new woman. With gender roles shifting so fast, this new archetype felt like a direct threat to a lot of traditional values. In the movie, she is absolutely a threat to the family. She's a vamp, a symbol of how the city can corrupt you, trying to lure the husband away from his simple good life. And the film shows this contrast so clearly. The countryside is this perfect, idealized version of nature, almost like a German romantic painting. But the city, oh, the city is a chaotic, unnamed stand-in for a place like Berlin. It's all dizzying lights, crazy traffic, and modern design. You can feel the excitement, for sure, but you can also feel the danger. It's a place of wonder, but also a place of moral decay. And this is where the film's pretty conservative message really comes through. By recommitting to their marriage, the couple can walk right through all that city chaos completely untouched, almost like they're protected by an invisible shield. It's this powerful idea that family is the only real anchor you have when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. Now, this clash of worlds wasn't just in the story, it was woven into the very look and feel of the film. See, Sunrise actually merged two filmmaking styles that were, for all intents and purposes, complete opposites. On the one hand, you've got German Expressionism, which Murnau basically packed in his suitcase and brought with him from Germany. And the whole point of Expressionism is to show you what a character is feeling on the inside. It's not about what the world looks like, it's about what it feels like.
So, and this is the key, the sets aren't supposed to look real. They're designed to make you feel what the character is feeling. Those jagged angles and weird perspectives, that's not a house. That's the husband's guilt and inner conflict made visible.
But then, on the other hand, Murnau was also a master of realism. He used these long, smooth camera movements and kept everything in focus to create a world that feels totally real and tangible, like you could just step right into it. And this is where Murnau's genius just shines. He proved that these two styles didn't have to be enemies. He could give you a totally subjective, dreamlike effect in one shot, like when he layers the image of the city over the countryside and then follow it up with a long, realistic take. He used both to tell a much richer, more emotional story. Now, you might be wondering, how did a film this weird and artistic even get made in Hollywood? Well, this incredible fusion was only possible because of a very specific moment in time. The moment a European artist was basically given the keys to a Hollywood kingdom.
See, Murnau came from Germany's legendary UFA studios. And back then, Hollywood producers were looking at what UFA was doing with both admiration and, frankly, a little bit of fear. They loved the artistry and technical skill.
The head of Fox Studios, William Fox, wanted to compete by making what they called prestige pictures. And his strategy was brilliant. If you can't beat him, hire him. He lured Murnau over to Hollywood to bring some of that European artistic magic to his studio.
And Fox gave Murnau a deal that was just unheard of. Complete creative freedom and essentially unlimited budget. He was allowed to make his masterpiece with zero interference, which is just not how the studio system usually works. It was a perfect storm for art to thrive inside a commercial machine. But of course, this created yet another contradiction. The film was a massive artistic success. It won 3 of the very first Academy Awards, but it was a commercial disaster. And to make matters worse, it came out right as the first talkie, The Jazz Singer, hit theaters, changing cinema forever and making this absolute pinnacle of silent film seem instantly out of date. Talk about bad timing.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, the film's legacy is defined by the very contradictions that brought it into existence in the first place.
Think about it. Sunrise is a hybrid in every single way. It's a European art film with American movie stars. It's a technical marvel that was seen as obsolete almost the day it was released. And it's a timeless story that's also about a very specific anxious moment in history.
And it's that hybrid nature, that beautiful mess of contradictions, that makes it such a landmark. Which leaves us with one final thought. Almost 100 years later, when studios are chasing both billion-dollar blockbusters and Oscar-winning prestige films, aren't we still grappling with the exact same beautiful contradictions?